Okay, here's another part of the AMD, what I say, 3900X system. So this is a video card that come out of it. It looks like a, to me, it kind of looked like a knockoff card, but maybe a cheap OEM. So, GPU-Z, updated as of the latest version as of 10/25/2023, says this is a legit card. It is an 8 gig model. I don't know how good the camera is going to pick up on how dirty it is. The heatsink looks pretty terrible up here, but I did scrape a little. Took my nail and did that, and it cleaned it up a little bit. You can actually see where I did that, like right there. Cleaned up a little bit. This definitely needs to be cleaned back here more. Yeah, so as it says, I ran a benchmark. I ran Fire Strike, just the regular version. Okay, hang on, I have the number. So it did fall under the average. So on Fire Strike, and it's up to date, I got a 14,532. So it's under the average. Get back down here. It's under the average, but I guess that's a pretty good number. They were making, they do have some out there that's clock lower. I didn't see the power consumption. I didn't have none of that up, because if you obviously someone had it open at one time, because you can see this is off. So someone had this off at one point. So maybe they just did fresh thermal paste. It couldn't have been recent. It's pretty dirty. But they do make, like, you can get some of these off of AliExpress, and some Chinese seller that sells a cut down version of this. So the clock speeds are lower. I didn't even look to see what it was. GPU-Z, when you look up, it says there's two different ones for this. It's just like basically a stock version, and then it says it's RX 580G. So two different versions came up for this card, but it didn't really, I don't think it had a name on it. Can't remember that. But the first one, and it shows two little blocks in the video card. It said it could be the RX 580G or just an RX 580. So I'm assuming this is like one of the Chinese versions of this card that's just clocked down different. Maybe after cleaning it, it does a little better job. But by my benchmarks, I ran it two times, and I got 14,000. Well, the first time, this is from the first time, 14,235 out of this card. So it seems, yeah, GPU-Z says it's a legit card. It ran the whole benchmark and it did perfectly fine, and the AMD drivers went on with no issues. It ain't like I got a CD and installed from a CD. I got the drivers directly from AMD. The drivers went on perfectly fine. So now the next thing is probably just taking the card apart, and cleaning it. Like, this card will be simple. It's just these 4 screws. Like, I can just let's do that now. Like, thing is, I don't have really any alcohol left right now. It just ran out, and that's what I like cleaning these cards with. Okay, so I can use this. Just get down here a little bit more. Yeah, with this card, there's nothing attached in the back. Let's see how good image that is. Yeah, that seems decent. So there's nothing attached in the back. Both fans were spinning. So all you have to do is this. Well, so far with the system, I had the board out. I'm cleaning that motherboard out. I'm also cleaning. It looks like there was a lot of gunk on the board, so I'm hoping that was the issue. Hopefully, one stick of RAM wasn't working. Another one was. So I cleaned that RAM stick up, dried it out fully. Okay, that doesn't really feel that bad on thermal paste. Like, it surely seems like maybe. Okay, so the outside was kind of down. Right, so this is going to be the tricky part. Is getting some thermal pads for these, because I don't know if I have any really. That one had a thermal pad on it, but it wasn't being hit really by anything. You set this right over here so it doesn't like stick to anything. Same thing with these. They weren't even hardly hitting anything. Half the memory was getting done. Maybe I have enough left to do this card. Then you can see it has a little extension right here for the fans, and then another piece here that hooks in this other fan. So this is probably just, I don't know, seems weird, splitting here. So it goes from here, splits to here, comes off to 2, and then goes to the 2 fans. So there's that. Yeah, somebody, well, that kind of went off pretty bad, but the center is pretty decent. Yeah, seems relevant. Seems pretty decent. Maybe it was having an issue with these caps or something. What? They got little. I'll stand up and you can see that because I'm standing, sitting down. The die is perfectly clean. Like, there's no markings on it. Here is. This is kind of. As I pull this one out, I don't know why I just. So, you can see here what I was talking about. Kind of started to. These little it looks like plastic little washers up top of these caps here. See that? Weird, right? I have to undo these two, get that off there. And the board on the inside doesn't look too bad. It's really dirty right here. It's weird that these looks like these were half. Thermal pads were on this, and then a little bit of that one, and these weren't. It's pretty dirty right here too, and then the back is pretty bad. So then I'm gonna screw these and these. These will probably be the full size. A full size. Probably be the USB. A Phillips number, whatever, using what it is. So there's that off. Then, ouch, what the heck just stabbed me in my finger with my own freaking thing somehow. Okay. And then these, you just kind of hard to get to, because kind of around it. So you just pinch these little plastics here, and then the other ones here. Just kind of pinch these together, which are really annoying. Okay, there it goes. So there are them two. Try to wiggle a little bit. There it goes. Hey, yeah, you can see the dust build up on that side. Put this right here, like this, I guess. And now I'll just go and clean this. See how it turns out, and I will see how you get the. So the cooler is going to be screwed from the inside here. I won't show that part. That's a little bit more that I want to do. But yeah, I'll clean this up, put it back together, and then extend to this. So this will probably be a separate video than the rest of the computer. So I'll clean this up. I'll clean the heatsink up, add new thermal paste to it. Well, once everything's good to go, I add new thermal paste to it. Hopefully I have enough thermal pads to add new thermal pads to it too. Clean the heatsink up and the fans, and then put it together, and then I'll add that next part to it, because I already know the video card works. So like I said, my Fire Strike benchmarks were 14,535, which is below average. So the next part of this video will be this card full. Oh, look at this. And it's like they put a stud right here too. See that? I just noticed that. And there's one right here. One here, one here. Okay, that's weird. Yeah, but there's no, yeah. But I'll clean it, and then the next part of this video will be with the card fully together, and see how it runs. It is a AMD RX 580, 4 gig, so that's perfect, and it works. You know, $50, $75 maybe. So there's a little bit of the system could be back. Both sticks of DDR4 memory is working, and they're 32 gigs of RAM, running at what is it, 3200 and a CL16. That's really nice. I'm happy about that too. So, and this little last part will be the update of the system I just built with that white case with the cheap RGB fans in it that seem to work perfect. A guy said he might be here tomorrow to get it, and someone else said Thursday. Then another guy said the 1st, but the guy on the 1st wanted me to hold it for put a hold for $50. I don't like putting stuff on hold, like, because the fact that I don't feel right. If he never come and got it, right, I'd be holding it for 2 weeks, and then I wouldn't feel right about keeping his money. But if you put a hold on it and you don't get it, that $50 should just be lost. But I don't feel right like doing that kind of thing, you know, because I could, you know, I just don't feel right about doing it. So if it doesn't sell, you know, tomorrow, someone else might be looking at it Thursday, and if it doesn't sell by Thursday, someone else might be getting in on the 1st. All I'm getting so far is people wanting to trade me consoles. I have another guy that wants to trade me. He has another system. It has a Vega 56 in it, 16 gigs of RAM, a 1 terabyte SATA SSD, a 1 terabyte hard drive, and a 250 gig SATA SSD. And I'm not for sure if the SSD's parts are right besides the capacity. The thing is, it has, like, I don't know what board it has, I don't know what case it has. He has sent me no pictures of it, but I know it has R7, R5, 1400. Yeah, a 1400. So it's like, I told him, just upgrade your CPU. That, I was like, just the best thing you can do is just upgrade the CPU. Go to like a 3600. Because right now, I'm betting you that 1400 is probably slowing the system down. Because that video card is pretty nice. So the benchmarks I've seen say it's around a 1070. Some say 1070 Ti, but then others, most of them I've seen says 1070. So he can upgrade his CPU. I said, if you can't do it, you know, buy the CPU, because his board should, I don't know, I told him he might need to update it, even to go to that. If he goes any higher than that, if he updates the BIOS, his old CPU might not work anymore, right? Because it's the 1000 series, first gen of Ryzen, right? Ryzen, yeah. So, and I don't know what kind of board he has. So I was like, just go to a 6600. That's 6 cores, 12 threads instead of your 4 cores, 8 threads. then I told him you would see a huge performance gain, and you can buy them CPUs for pretty cheap. But yeah, that's gonna be the end of the video. I'm gonna clean all this up, put it back together, then show you how it looks, and then probably like do the video of it running Fire Strike and post that at the end. So it'd be this part cleaning, and then the Fire Strike running, and the score at the end. So yeah, thank you for watching this part. Next part's gonna be about now. Okay, I guess there's gonna be like 3 parts of this one video, but here is a motherboard, how it cleaned up really nice. You see here. Another thing, this right here was actually looked like they done it with Sharpie. I don't know why, but it does have AMD right here, and it says 109 C940 37 0002. So when I looked that up, it says this is like an OEM card. You can see it's still kind of damp because I just got done doing it, right? Just cleaning it. So there's that, and it was sitting right here. Here is the cooler. It's not perfect, but it's way better than before. And you see the fans, they still roll smooth. You spin them like that and they keep going, decent. Like, see this? When you see that little like that, it's pretty good. I'd worry if the fan just like boom, just stopped like that and didn't give that little like, watch, like that little back and forth thing. That's when I'd worry about them, if they didn't do like that. But these pretty good. Even the inside's pretty clean. The little bracket here came pretty clean. It's not perfect, but you know, way better than what it was. So the next part of this will be with it together and see how it looks fully together, and then that'd be it. It's a short little part. I just wanted to put up how much better the card actually looks, because it was pretty dirty. Like, how much better? Look at the back now. See how much better that looks? Perfect. Well, it's not perfect. Well, this is, I cleaned this better than I did this. All these little corners and stuff like that made it hard to clean. And these fans are like double-sided taped on here. Once you put the screws on in here, it goes through the mount for the screws, see them back here, and through the plastic for here, and then that holds the fans and the shroud piece on to the card. But right now they're both double-sided taped on there. Guess that's kind of good, because it gives it that little cushion, because it's like the double-sided. It looks, is it? No, just, yeah, it's double-sided on there, taped on there. And then once you put the screws on there, it's mounted with screws. That's pretty nice, come clean. So next part will be with the whole card assembled, which won't be a very long video either. So here comes the next part with it done. Okay, and here is the card all back together. Now you can actually see the AMD logo down here. Shrouds cleaned up, fans cleaned up, heat sinks all cleaned up. New fresh thermal paste. Now card looking pretty good now. Things put back together. Now I'm gonna rerun the test on this. Even the heat sink piping looks good. I'm gonna rerun benchmarks on it and see how it does now. See if it's performing better than it was before the cleaning. See how it does. I doubt it. That benchmark does, well, it runs a decent amount of time, but the car shouldn't have, you know, like, yeah, it shouldn't get a better number. I don't believe the card was running hot or anything. Only thing difference is it probably will get the same score, but since I didn't mess with the fan curves, the fans will just, it would just run quieter. That's usually how it is if you don't mess with a fan curve. So I'm assuming it's going to get the same kind of benchmark score. It's just going to run quieter now that it's cleaned up. Yeah. So yeah, that I'd probably record it running the Fire Strike benchmark, and I'll add that on to the last part of this video. Seems really nice now. Yeah, when I look this code up, it does come back as like an OEM card, so who knows what it came out of. I haven't seen any Dells or HPs that look like this, but I really haven't seen any 580s, so it's probably an OEM from some brand that I never heard of that makes computers. Yeah, it takes an 8-pin. That's what I can say about it. Okay, that's the end of this part. Showing the card back together. Now I'll rerun the card, see how the benchmark is. Hopefully it does better, you know? At the minimum, I know these fans ain't gonna have to run as fast. So the card should run quieter and probably get the same kind of benchmark scores anyways. But yeah, there's that part, and the next part will, if I add it, will be the Fire Strike benchmark running. Okay, so I said I was gonna run Fire Strike and record it, but yeah, I don't think there's a need to do so. So the original benchmark I ran, I got a 14,535, which saying the drivers were non-supported, so I deleted that out. And so here is the test I ran, the second test I ran. You can see it got a score, so it successfully ran off, and you can see there's 4 of them here. 4 times I ran it, 2 times in a row basically. Well, there's still good gap here, but I ran it 4 times. They passed each time. First time I ran it, it got a 14. Well, this is the second time I ran it. Got a 14,354. And then I retested it with the 3900X in that computer to make sure both these work together. And then it got a 14,393. So you see where these, you click this, results. Okay, you can see the numbers here. 3D Mark score, 12,492. Graphics score, 14,393. Okay, graphics test 1, 70.14 FPS. Graphics test 2, 56.49. I guess it's decent. The rest of the scores here. It says this score here better than 55% of all results, and this is at stock speed, so I didn't overclock it, nothing like that. You can see here card 1 SLI off. 8 is the 8 gig model here. Here's the clock speeds here. Average temperature, card only got the 48C running that test. Now obviously here is the thank you Windows. Here is the test. Well, it isn't a test, but here is a R9 390X. There's a motherboard and how much RAM it was in it. So this is when. So this is testing it with the old system that I had. So it only had 32 gigs of RAM. But yeah, you can see it ran 4 times. I ran it 4 times. This is gonna come up. Oh, okay, that's weird. I did run the Fire Strike stress test on here. So I guess it... I'm sure I hit see results online, because sometimes you don't hit the little button after the benchmark, it won't show you the results. The results won't be saved. Yeah, I did save it and it did pass. So, was it this? No, wasn't. Whoa. Sure is Fire Strike, but it's showing that it wasn't. Okay. I didn't run any other, like Time Spy or nothing like that on this card, because it seemed pretty good. Alright. But that is, showing the fire, at least the Fire Strike numbers and what I got, and that I ran it in total of 5. But like I said, the first time said drivers were not, I don't know, now I can't even remember what it said. Like it said drivers not supported because I didn't actually install drivers myself. So it's kind of weird that the drivers that Windows put on it actually got a higher number than what I got afterwards. Like, I got with just letting Windows install drivers, I got a 14,535. When I ran DDU and then reinstalled the drivers, the latest drivers as, of today, well, when I download them, maybe they have new drivers now, but it only got a 14,393. So it's a pretty good difference. Yeah, I will test it more, but I want to make sure the system that I just built and I'm going to test in is stable and there's not other problems, because I put the card in now and then it does have problems. I won't know if it's anything else, but the system's been running no problem. Yeah, it ran handbrake on a lot of videos to downsize the size of the videos, because my upload is pretty terrible for some reason still. But yeah, and the CPU max temperature hit like 72 C. So yeah, system seems pretty stable. Haven't had an issue with it. It's been running it for a couple days now. I can't even remember when I got the board. I just got the board. I can't even remember now. But the main point is this video, shows that the AMD Radeon RX 580 8GB is fully running. I'm still gonna run some more tests on it, playing some video games on it and see what it does. And then I'm gonna build the system. The motherboard's supposed to be here tomorrow, which is the 30th of October. So then I'm going to build that system out, and I'm going to use this AMD RX 580 in that system. Still trying to track down another 8GB stick before I could put 16 in it, but I'm not for sure, but that's a whole different subject. But here, this is the end of the video. Thank you for watching.